You are tuned in to What Up Baltimore online radio. Please note that the views and opinions expressed on this channel are of the host and not of Lady J Media. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, What Up Baltimore TV. And if you really don't want to miss any of the shows, hit that notification bell and you'll get a message every time we come on. Now, we got it from here, so sit back, relax, and stay tuned.
I know you do. I know you do, because that's what I do. I give you that kind of love that makes you come back. I'm your pusher, baby. I'm your pusher.
Why do you like you push
Hey, little black boy, let me holler at you for a minute. I was once in your place, you should respect what I say. Some of the things I'm about to tell you just may save your life in a world where not much is right. Little black boy, you're gonna see and experience all sorts of things, but don't let your mind be locked in the chain. Hello. Welcome to Spitfire Poetry Shutdown. I am your host, John Hansboro. It is August 30th, 2023. I hope everyone is having a good week so far. I know school just started Monday. I'm still running around and trying to settle from that as it is. You know what I mean? This has been brought to you by Lady J Entertainment, Butterfly Entertainment, Lady J Media. Go to YouTube and subscribe to the What Up Baltimore TV page so you don't miss out on any of the shows. You want to make sure you can catch all the shows all during the week, all right? Tonight, we got my sister in the house. As you can see, she is a regular on here. She is not new to this at all. Man, published author, publisher, poet, writer, director, mom, husband, wife. Like she has so many different hats, you know, that you wear. My sister Aneski Anna Consett, everybody. Give it up for Aneski Anna Consett, y'all.
Yeah, thank you. John, this is, I think, my 10th time.
Damn, really?
On Spitfire.
Wow.
I love going back watching the show itself. It's growth on both ends. I love it. I love being a part of it. So I'm definitely not new to this, and I'm very true to this all day.
No,
yes,
absolutely. And you know what? I've been missing all of y'all. I sometimes when you're getting like I don't even know what to call it. I don't want to say stagnated, but it's like when my writing will pause for a minute, it's like I can't come up with nothing. I'll be, you know what I mean? Right. But when you're around the right people and stuff like that, stuff just starts to come out. You know what I mean? Tell us a little bit about yourself, Aneski, real quick before we get started.
Sure. For those who don't know, let me see if I need to give us a little bit more light. For those who don't know, my birth name is Thomasina. I am married to Victor Deloach, and he is also my partner as well as in life and in business. And we own For Authors Authentic Urban Publishing Company. It's an LLC that is geared towards local publishers and small publications. We currently have 8 books published on available on Amazon or directly through us. and you can feel free to inquire about anything on our Instagram page. Our Instagram page is the number 4_AUTHORS. And yeah, so we are about just encouraging those to read, and any thing connected to reading and writing, like music, poetry, uh, scripts, stories, magazines, like anything connected to writing. We try our best to support and promote, because for us, reading is the building block for everything in life. A lot of basics start with reading. And so we just try to encourage that, my husband and I. And yeah, we love reading and we love writing. So of course, the best thing in life is to do something that you love. So.
Right. So I know how much you love writing and things of that nature.
Yes.
What would you say is when you really fell in love with it? You remember the time you really just knew that was what you wanted to do?
God, yes. First grade. First grade. I'll never forget my first poem. My first poem, when I wrote that poem and I got to do that poem in front of the class, and the way it was received, and the way my teacher, her face was lit up, it was addictive. And from then, it was just pen and paper for anything. It's, especially to cope and deal with my emotions. I mean, writing was something that was but I realized it was my gift at a very early age, and it's odd because my dad taught me, had me reading by the time I was 2, so I could read before I even started school. But I love reading, but more than reading, I loved writing.
Right.
And so it was just like the other side of the coin for me.
It's interesting because I knew I liked to write, but I wasn't writing like really. I wouldn't say it was poetry back then. I was writing like letters to girls, first and second grade and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, but I didn't realize how much I depended on writing or how much it helped me until I was in situations that were just unfamiliar to me, and I felt like I couldn't figure this shit out. I didn't know what was going on. My emotions was all over the place. So writing was something that helped me. And I say this all the time. It's something that helped me to cope and deal with, everyday life, really, to be honest with you.
Definitely.
Things that go on, How long do you say you've been doing poetry?
Again, since first grade, I've been doing, I always fall back to poetry. I do write, I write novels, I write plays, I write scripts, I do resumes, but in the midst of even, just a comfort for writing, it comes in the form of poetry. And so my first, after reading, I still remember the poem, it was Joy's Dinosaur, and that's how deep that poem is embedded in me. But I actually won a book by Langston Hughes.
That's my guy right there.
Yes. And so, and at the time my mom was in college, and so, she was going to Sojourner Douglas, and I had, she used to, come home and quote, Maya Angelou and Sojourner, Truth's, Ain't I Woman. And so, with that and Langston Hughes, and at the time Kirk Schmoke was, encouraging Baltimore to be the city that reads, I fell into a wind of, poetry books. So I got with Robert Frost and all them, but what I was able to identify with was Langston Hughes and Maya Angelou. And then as I got older, I started reading, I won a contest for an essay, and I won a Shakespeare playwright. And that combination and style of poetry, began to appeal to me, and that's how I got into theater. Fell for the love of theater. So by the time I was in 5th grade, The Wiz and Macbeth were my favorite 2, playwrights for entertainment. I wanted to see, if I wanted to see The Wiz just as much as I wanted to see Macbeth, and so,
Wow. So okay. I've known you and your husband for like about a year and a half, almost 2 years now, but
Yes.
it makes so much sense now because when we did the production that you did, the I Am Woke production,
Mm-hmm.
I could not put my head around how you were able to put everybody's poem and fit it into the story. Like
Right.
it was really incredible.
Thank
Um,
you.
and then your love for it, I could see that when I met you. I could see the love and the passion that you have for art. Period. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So
Yes.
it makes sense now of where it all comes from. Definitely does. Um,
Yeah.
so look, let's just get right into some poetry real quick.
Sure. Yeah.
Whatever you want to spit, whatever you want to get off your chest. I may even say something. I got something that I wrote a while ago that I just have not shared yet.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and I got it when I was I went to my wife had to sing at a church event one day, and this was like maybe 2 weeks ago. And I do this sometimes. I'll hear something from somebody and I'll write something about it. But all I know, the pastor kept saying kingdom, kingdom, kingdom. He went kingdom this
Mm.
and that. And I came home and came up with something. But um, we're gonna let you go
Okay.
ahead and spit some stuff so people can hear what you got because I like to think that I gain new followers every time I come on, so they get to hear a Nesky and a Kimzet in the
Yes,
flesh.
definitely, definitely. So, yeah, John. So, the poems I do tonight is all of them can be found in my poetry book, WWMAD. What would my ancestors do? That's my first poetry book under my pseudonym. And so, the first poem I'm going to do is called "The Birth of a Nesky."
Mm,
I was born from the 42 ideals of Ma'at. Like golden strands of sunlight, I stretched from the heavens only to be embraced by the oceans with open arms. As I grew, I blossomed like a hemp leaf, having been bathed in a pool of what life was like, washed pure in wisdom and strength, showered in perfect harmony. My mother is nature, and she belongs to me. We are one womb. Man exists because of us.
mhm.
My father is time, and he has planted seeds along my footsteps on a path known as the hidden way. I am blessed by the word that one day I will follow the moon to truth and serenity. The stars are my ancestors. My brothers are Jupiter and Saturn. My sisters are Venus and Mars. I am a Nesky queen.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right. I don't think I don't know if I heard that before. That is that new?
No, that's actually rather as I wrote that probably about 2019, 2018. I would say definitely 2019 with the birth of a pseudonym. And that actually is the last poem in the book. And so I kind of allow the reader to find themselves, and then I end it with exactly just who I am. And I did that. I read that poem because you know, just the rebirth period. And you and I, we all have in common the fact that poetry has been our therapy. And so
Mhm.
when I birthed Aneski, it was out of the intent of giving myself a new foundation, a new sincere foundation to what my purpose is, and what I
Right.
feel has been given to me. So I read that poem because going forward in lieu well, not in lieu, I guess would be in lieu of, but in October the 12th, Aneski Anna Kim Set will actually be hosting her own podcast on Thursdays at 7 to 8, and it will be on the Metaverse station WKIM. And the name of the podcast is Be More Mindful.
I
And
love
so it is a podcast that is geared towards a community of support, using the arts as the basis to talk about, things in our community, among our culture, that deals with the mind, body, and soul. And so, with that going forward, I'm ready just to let Aneski Anna Kimset just more than a pseudonym, but become a brand within itself and stand on its purpose. So that's why I wanted to start off with that, just, aligning everyone with just what I am and who I am as a being here, on this earth. So.
Now, talk to me real quick about your new endeavor that you're about to go into. What's the name of it again?
Be more mindful.
Be more mindful. Okay.
Yes.
Y'all definitely want to tune in when she does that, because I know it's going to be some awesome content. Wow. So what made you come up with that? Like what struck you? What hit you to give you that passion to say, you know what, I want to do this?
Like I said, just who if I was to say, who Aneski Anna Kimset is as a person and what she was born to do, it would be just that, to remind, my city, Baltimore, excuse me, I'm sorry, first my family, then my city, and then throughout abroad, to remind us to be careful with the things that make us who we are, from the mind, body, and soul. And it comes from, me as Thomasina experiencing, mental health, what they consider disorders, what I consider barriers, or misnomers of variables of mindsets or mental states, being open. I'm transparent about that. You and I, discussed many times, being transparent about, going through mental health as a condition and considered, separate from what is physical health, just me from my experience as Thomasina, realizing that all that works together. You will, if your mind, body, and soul is not aligned, you will have a very a very strong struggle in life, because you will be out of whack. Point blank, period, just as plain as sight. And so understanding that our culture, a lot of things in our culture comes simply straight first from the mindset, our mental state. And we don't talk about it. It's a lot of things that are hushed when it comes to us as women, colored women. When we go to talk about things, we don't talk about postpartum enough. We don't talk about, the stressors of being, a woman that's already, looked at due to the color of her skin, and then it's her gender, but still expected to stand and hold such a strong position, and so we don't talk about so much. We don't talk about our children, and while they're running around and wilding out, but we're constantly giving them foods with dyes and sugars and chemicals that causes them to have this, what they want to call later, is dysfunctions. But the whole time, they expect us to whip our kids' ass, and so just to the point. But at the same whole time, there's a lot more going on, and we need to be mindful of that before we quick to condemn. Before we quick to, I'm wearing a shirt now. This is a brand of Aneski Anna Kimset, and this is my motto. I developed it in the beginning of this year. It says, "Don't judge, mind your business, pay your rent." And this shirt, there are different various styles. If you follow my personal page on Instagram, or Aneski Anna Kimset as a brand, it's my name, one word, no spaces. But this came about, as everything I do in life is a lesson to me first, and then I just go to allow my cup to run over. But my thing is this with this shirt: if you are taking your time to focus on you, you don't have the time to judge nobody, which means you got less mess to be in, less gossip, and therefore you tend to mind your business.
Yeah.
You get to focus on what is priority to you and yours. And at the end of the day, for all of us who know what the truth is like, when them bills is rolling in and them notices and things, half of us is most of us behind. Well, it should be no reason why we're not able to pay our rent. And my thing is, so a lot of people say, what if you're paying mortgage? And that means you're doing something right. So therefore, if you're still paying rent, you want to think about that. And it's to make you self-conscious because we spend a lot of time beating each other down, talking about
Mhm.
dogging each other, not being the change we talk about. And it all
Mhm.
starts from because we judging, minding
Mhm.
other people's business, and we paying everything but the rent.
You know, I picked up my daughters from school yesterday and today. What's
Mm-hmm.
no today's Wednesday? Yeah, the last 3 days, yesterday, today, and Monday. And yesterday, when I went and got my oldest, she's 14. She just started ninth grade.
Mm.
So I'm standing outside the building waiting on her to come out, and the kids are coming out and they doing their normal thing, they talking, everybody running around. They're not really running around like small kids because they high schoolers, you know what I
Right,
mean? But
right.
I
Oh
just
wow.
I don't know. I had a feeling of I just felt something. Like I'm looking at them walk around and coming out the building, and the way that they talk to each other is one
Mm-hmm.
thing that bothers me sometimes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then soon as some of them wasn't even off the campus. They just pull their joints out and just start lighting up, like right there. Like, God damn.
It's
I'm
real.
like, y'all ain't worried about no parents out here, the school, nothing. Like, and it just sometimes it saddens me because like you say, we chastise and we get on people so much, but some of like, for instance, I hate to say it, but I gotta say it. These vehicle break-ins, right?
Yeah.
So my wife's vehicle was broken into one day a couple months ago, right? During the
Mm.
summer, So I looked at the camera to see it because I'm up. I don't know why I was asleep, but
Mm.
I was out. And I'm looking at the camera and I'm pissed off. Like, look at these little bastards all in the car. And then when I really look at them as they leave, because they couldn't get it, they broke the screwdriver in the ignition. She's got a Kia
Oh Lord,
Sorento,
have mercy.
right? So them
Mm-hmm.
Sorentos and the Hondas, whatever, was supposed to be easy to get into. They got all this
Right,
lawsuit stuff going on now. But I'm looking at the video and they walking away, and I'm thinking to myself, damn, they can't, like, they are literally kids. Like, it's
right,
not no 20-year-old, you know
right,
what I mean? I can't really make their face out, but I can just tell their body language and the way they dress. They kids. They
right,
kids, right?
right.
So, and I thought about it. I was like, shit, I wish I'd have been up. If I'd have seen something, I'd have just cracked my front door open, let my dogs run out there real fast.
Yeah.
But when I thought about it, I'm like, because they still children, like I said, at the end of the
Right,
day.
right, right,
You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
So I kind of had a mixed emotion. I was pissed, but I'm like I just, some of them have
Right.
nobody there for them to guide them
They
on
don't.
certain stuff. You know
They
what I
don't.
mean? And I'm gonna tell you something else too, that I the music really does influence a lot of stuff. I'm sorry,
It
it does.
does.
I remember growing up, when I was first introduced to hip hop, it was different. It was about mind, body,
Mm-hmm.
making yourself
Consciousness.
better,
Yes. Yes.
consciousness. Yes, that.
Education.
Yes,
Knowledge.
right, right. And I feel so that's what we need to go back to, because it's like the stuff that they listening to, it just don't make it just don't make sense. It's too
But
much.
let's be honest. Let's be real. Let's be mindful. Who is putting out the music? Is it us?
No,
Is it
right,
us? And
right,
so therefore we have to look at that transformation
right,
because see, we we have to ask ourselves what caused the effect.
right, right,
Because whether believe it or not, this is what the 50th anniversary of hip hop this
right,
year,
right,
2023, and
right.
yes, it has significantly changed. And if you even look, those who were once role models and quote unquote idols, who people look to in the hip hop world, if you look for what they stood for and look for now what they stand for, you have to ask yourself, well, what changed? Easy. They were talking education. They were talking knowledge. They were influencing.
Right.
So therefore, those who have control over the influence say, "Nah,
Right, right, right. I always say I feel like if we really knew, especially our young people, if they really knew the potential and the gift that they have inside of each and every one of them, it would be different. You know, it would be a lot different. But I really do believe that is a sort of an influence now, because everything now, and I try to listen to everything. I love music and art. I try to listen to everything, right? And some stuff though, I just cannot. I don't get it. It's like
you
all
can't.
you talking about
You
is
can't listen to everything.
you know?
Not to interrupt you, bro. Listen, you got the right idea. See, and that's what, again, we have to be able to start teaching the truth to the children about that. We have to let my children didn't listen. My oldest son will be 25 in December. Guess who his favorite hip hop influence is?
Oh.
Tupac.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He listens to Tupac. He listens to Talib Kweli. He listens to, but of course when he was he didn't start listening to hip hop until he got out of middle school and started going to a public school. He came home 9th grade one day talking about, and I was like, boy, what did you say? Something, mine that's Fetty Wap. But before that, he was listening to rock bands and pop, because believe it or not, what is that biggest influence of music in their culture?
Right.
You understand?
Right.
And so it's not that it's not out there, but again, we have to be mindful. When we have someone that's listening to that in our neighborhoods, they're looked at as they're going against their people. They weird. They want to act white, or they listening to white music. I'm trying to understand us putting colors on personifications of things of culture. Why? How can you talk white, listen to white music, dress white, but at the end of the day, all influences came from Africa? Hello.
Right. Exactly. Yes.
You're giving. So again, we have to understand and be mindful that my 15-year-old does not really get racism. She gets it, but at the same time, she doesn't get why do we keep beating slavery into, what is the big deal about this? Okay, of course it will never change because that's what's on the forefront. Let's talk about, she has a friend, they have a multicultural group of friends, and they are they're humorous to me because they do a lot of dry humor towards racism. And from as I sit and observe, I understand it. For them, they don't experience that. They growing up, they're not. You're talking about families with mixed cultures now. Families are blended. We got more families blended. So you want me to be against my brother or my sister, but yet this is what she experienced in school. Her influence. She comes home, it's a different set of people. She don't go outside because the influence is different. So we have to be mindful with looking at the children and the things that they're doing negative. We have to be mindful of their influence. We should understand that they are automatically, there's more of a amount of a certain degree of negative influence there is positive, because there's no color to those things. There's no color to those things. There's no no color to being of a character. That's just who you are. And so when you see, I picture, because I've been there. I've seen, I have high schools, and they're lighting up and there's you smoke, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking and I'm understanding too, because same way when you and I get a certain way we need to medicate, they too.
Exactly.
They too. So we don't know what it is that they are coping with, because that's what that is for. It is a medication used to help cope and relax. And a lot of these children have ADHD. They not diagnosed. They stuck in these classrooms with these underexperienced teachers, and they just trying to get a piece of paper that somebody told they had to get just to get credit for being a human being. Come on now. Let's just be mindful. What are we doing to influence? What are we doing to influence? And everyone is an influence in their own way. I stopped trying to save the world and decided just to save my world. My influence now is more into, my children and my immediate family. And then it goes from there. A lot of times we reaching out too far. We ain't even touched home yet.
Mm-hmm.
So we start influencing the inner, and the ripple goes from there. And again, and this is the basis for the podcast. And I would like to take the second to thank Marsha Jews and WKIM and the Metaverse for this opportunity. I would like to also thank Tamara Payne for the network and the connection. For anyone who's been following me, know that I am part of the tribe and the Dear Black Girl Project, the exhibit that has been by request set up a human art exhibit, an experience like no other, given by Tamara Payne. And just a shout out to Darren Basfield also for the network, and my good friend Shannon, how this all started, because I think this is the time, now more than ever, to dive in deep and talk about, these things that get hushed. Or get overlooked or cloaked over. I hear so many times people quick to say, well, they just need Jesus. Well, for some things, some people have tried Jesus and that don't work. So what, we leave them by the wayside? We let it go? No, we still need to find answers, because each individual has to deal with their own journey, and who knows what that road would take the mind, body, and soul. Let's make sure we're in line as much as possible. Let's come together for community and talk about these things freely, without feeling judged, without feeling like someone's going to be minding your business, and not feeling like you're incapable of taking care of yourself at the end of the day, taking care of your household, paying your rent, So that's what the next level is for me, as Aneski Anakim said. So
I love it, Aneski. You got so much energy, and I don't know how you do it though, with all that you do. Seriously, like you and Vic, like when I first met y'all constantly are going. You know what I mean? And I can see that it's passion that drives you. But you have so much knowledge, and you have so much that you're giving, and have the opportunity to give to our community. Like it's incredible. It really is. So I really appreciate what you do, man. I'm telling you, you are an inspiration. I believe that you should be celebrated for the things that you do, because no one, this is something that's done because you want to do it. This is a feeling that you have. It's a passion. This is a love for something that you want to do because you want to see a change in something. And I just love it. I really do. You are a person who's not about talking about it. You are about doing it. And it's great. It really is. Look, let's share something whenever you get ready. Let's do something else real quick.
I got something for y'all. I'm going to do something. This was actually done in the first poem that was done in the play I Am Woke, a Poetical Experience. And as you know, John, this poem was performed by myself, Victor, and Shamice Lady Jacobs. And I was adamant about this, being nailed, because it was the very first scene that everyone will experience. So the name of this poem is Excuse Me. And it's been a while since I did this. So we have to stop making excuses. 400 years plus and still reasoning with the oppressor. Quick to shrug and say our adversary is invisible to our eyes, yet he is obviously the pale persuaded beast that came and stole our land, raped and seduced our women, not out of love, but fertility. Birthing sons and daughters into slavery, only to toil on our own land, claiming to be home of the free. At least that is what they reiterate. They call it history. More like dictate to us our history. And that which we need to know still remains a mystery. Yet there is truth hidden in books our great-great-grandfathers literally couldn't read. Now we are encouraged to Google, a search engine driven by lies and hypocrisy. What will it take to make us who was once great return to the top with our feet deeply planted like the root of a tree? Excuse me. We need to stop being fools, waving a flag, allowing them to claim this land, even though their capital was designed by a brown-colored man. 400 years plus, every decade they counting, they call it the census. They group us all together, then they separate us, stripping us of our identity yet labeling us, shoveling Christianity down our throats just to censor us. They literally beat the ancestors out of us, and we still claim to be the minority on soil where we once were the majority. But we all know, theoretically speaking, war comes with casualties. Yet please do not expect me to expect less than a refugee. You see, I wasn't born with great-grandma told daddy she was part Cherokee. But I know Hansboro, North Carolina is native land to the Cherokee. What will it take to make us who was once great return to the top with our feet deeply planted like the root of a tree? Excuse me for asking, but I just felt the need. We need to stop being scared. We conform to their image and accept mediocrity. Broke ass, welfare class, and the middle blue collar, now that's the specialty. Only to applaud the waymakers, those who made it out. Tell horror stories of their childhood, of war, famine, and surviving the drought. Now they sit among the elite with duct tape around their mouth. From politicians to actors, werewolves dressed like sheep, paparazzi overrated, shrewdly syndicated, yet we still hypnotized by what's not reality TV. What will it take to make us who was once great return to the top with our feet deeply planted like the root of the tree? Excuse me for asking, but I just felt the need to exercise my freedom of speech. You see what my third eye, red and black and white, turned out to be gray with 50 shades of humanity. There's no doubt when Plymouth Rock landed, it landed on people the same shade as me. So excuse me for not carving a turkey or putting lights on a tree. I won't color an egg said to have been laid by an Easter bunny. Excuse me if I don't, nor do I need to pray to their cross or pay their tithes. It seems like the color green avoided the apartheid. Excuse me if my brown roots grow deep like that of a tree. Yet it's not about my color, but it's all about my seed. I said it's not about my color, but it's all about my seed. Excuse me.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it, man. I think that's one of my that one is starting to be one of my favorites from you right there. You know, I didn't even realize that you wrote that whole thing though, because when we did that, you and Vic and Shamish all broke it up. I didn't know that you wrote that whole poem. I actually thought some of it was Shamish, like the part that she did. Man, like you got so much energy with it though. Like, does it make you feel like you let off a lot of like frustration or you know things that irritate you and you writing about it, especially that deals with our culture? You know,
I definitely was in that mindset when I wrote this. I was just so, and again, this is the birth of Aneski. This is when I first, I wrote this poem for this book, specifically for what would my ancestors do. And because I was just, as a, person in the 21st, are we in the 21st century? We're in the 21st century. I'm fed up.
Yeah.
I'm fed up.
Same
and I'm tired. When they say sick and tired of being sick and tired, when I started, I was so tired when my pen touched the paper for this, and I just literally, I ran it, and that was what came of the rant, and I literally stepped, like it just was like the record player ripped for me, and I just wanted to tap somebody on the shoulder and just excuse me, because I need to know who is as fed up as I am enough to let's just do more than just think about it. Let's talk about it, and then let's do something, something, anything, because nothing beats a failure but a try.
Got that right. I think a lot of it too, we don't know where, some people don't know where to start Like someone asked me one time, what do I think we should do? And I'm like, I honestly, I mean, it's like, I want to say it starts at home, but it's so many different answers for stuff. Like it's some homes, every home ain't the same. Like some kids, some kids go through different stuff. But being mindful is something I really believe if the children just knew their potential and knew their worth. You know what I mean? If they knew their potential and knew their worth, some of them wouldn't do some of the things that they're doing or that they are seeing done and they want to do because they feel as though it's cool, you know?
Right.
Let me ask you that one, the HN something. What is that you got?
ISBN.
ISBN. I ain't even gonna say the title. I'll let you do it. Do you know? Can you do that one for me?
Yeah, I could probably do it off my head, but for sake, look, you know what's so crazy, John? That's one of my favorites. I be trying not to burn, but it's requested.
Yeah.
You know, it's requested, but I love this one was another one. Yeah, Fed Up.
Right. I feel. You know what? I feel like what you just said about you may feel like you do it too much, but you don't. Because I got that one poem, All That Shouting Isn't Necessary. A lot of people like it. And when I go places, I try to do something different. But I realize I'm like, sometimes people want what they want. They want what helps them. My dog is going crazy. What helps them and what drives them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like with your husband's poem, when he does the I'm Still Alive, I cannot.
Oh, yeah.
I can hear it every day, once a day, every day, and still have the same feeling.
Still be revived every time. I know exactly what you mean.
I'm still alive. Like I want to run through a wall, and I'm telling you, because that's how I felt. I'm like, I went through all of that. I was almost out of here, but I'm still here. This was 10 years ago. I was supposed to have been buried for 10 years now. So certain stuff, like there's a poem I got called A New Day. It's not one of my favorites, but I went to a church one time and did it, and this woman there fell in love with it. That was what she needed for her to go on to the next day or keep going. You know what I mean? We don't
John,
really
that's how we do it.
Yeah, we don't really know how what we say in our words and our cadences and the way that we deliver it, how it affects people.
That's right.
I sit and I watch people when my wife sings, right? And I used to do this, especially when we first met the first couple of years. And it's that entrepreneur mind that we all got. You constantly seeing stuff. So she's singing. You're right. She's singing, and I'm looking around at the people because I want to see their reactions, how they feeling, and like to see people go through emotions and cry and yell and scream or do whatever. I don't think. Well, I'm gonna speak for my wife anyway. I'm not sure if she knows how important what she does is something that helps people. You know what I mean? I see it. I see it. Like I see it when we go places, and there may be someone that most people don't even know who we are, and she may sing a certain song, and it just does something to me still. And I've been married to her for over 15 years. She could be up on stage singing, and I'm in the audience watching, and I'm just shit just fall. I can't help it. Because I know where she was. I know what she went through. I know where, you know what I mean? I remember when there was a time where she couldn't even put some of those notes together. You know what I mean? So, and in turn, that made me take poetry even more seriously. I think that's what I'm getting at, because I realized that it helps people. So I'm saying to myself, well, who are you to say, well, I don't feel like saying shit today. I don't feel like going over here and doing this poem. But I learned to stop doing that and just be free with it, because you never know what gem that you about to drop on somebody.
I totally understand it. And you and your wife have definitely been gems to me and my husband and to my family. All the way from my nephew. As soon as he
Yeah,
seen it,
yeah, my gosh, yeah.
and again, the influence, I'm grateful for it because even now, and all I'm doing, trust and believe, you guys, us doing the play, that was a big influence for me to keep going to you because you guys believed in me and we
Right.
were able to, like you say, that's a ministry within itself.
Right.
Every gift is a ministry unto the creator, unto the divine, because it was given to you. So you're supposed to give it back with passion. And you guys also do that. And I've heard your wife sing. Oh my gosh. And she such a soft, beautiful, angelic voice. And every note carries a vibration that just you can't help but cry. And don't
Yeah.
you don't know look, that's it. We was in a fool spot. But the child down, the little tears was coming. I said, "Man, she's such a beautiful voice." So I get it. So yeah, I can kick. ISBN. It stands for I'm sick of being a nigga. I'm sick of being a nigga. I'm sick and tired of being associated with drug dealers, crack addicts, bad spending habits, no justice, no matter who's pulling the trigger. I'm sick of stereotypical hypocrites who feed off numbers to benefit the pockets of politics. Non-profit organizations are a monetary gain, so God help our government. See, whether niggas is Democrats or Republicans, once the votes are in, we're still only 3/5. Enough whiskey to get niggas a lick. A life of bootlegging just to pay the rent. I'm tired of economic elements fumigating my environment. Lead in the water, liquor stores in every corner, poison in the future like Michigan poison Flint. Synthetic toxins pose vaccinations, yet niggas still considered a national threat. Ain't no self-defense when police got their foot on our necks. I'm sick and tired of being ridiculed and fooled. The oldest university resides in Africa, yet they don't teach niggas that in school. 28 days spent talking about slaves, and niggas still go to their plantation each and every... I apologize. And niggas still spend their bill money each and every holiday. Then it's back to the plantation for a bi-weekly pay. Never mind that Mask has been in a big White House all day. I suppose being a nigga wouldn't be such a price to pay. If the roles were reversed, would I live to see the day? Good health and good wealth is all one can figure. But until that day come, I'm sick of being a nigga.
I love it. Sick of being a nigga. So for those that don't know, ISBN has you explain that to them real quick, sis. The ISBN.
Oh man, ISBN. So matter of fact, I was trying to publish this book.
That's when you came up with that?
I was trying to publish this book, and my very first publication is written under Thomasina Repman. This is why I chose to go with a pseudonym, because my first publication, I received a free ISBN from KDP. And for those who don't know, I'm going to drop a jewel. If you allow KDP to give you a free ISBN, you're also giving them permission to own your book.
Oh,
and so,
okay.
If I wanted to own my book, I had to buy my own ISBN and barcode if I wanted to publish it myself. And so, believe it or not, the cost of it was $150. Now, for somebody, that's not a lot, maybe, but for somebody that's trying to pay their rent and taking care of a family of 9 and 10, dependent, it was kind of hard. And I was sitting there saying to myself, because it was just $150, I said, now, if I was one of these little rich Euros, $150 would be just a drop in the bucket. And I could buy $500 worth, had 10 ISBNs and publish books for everybody.
Right.
And I said, and I sat there and I said, man, it's hard being a nigga. And I'm sick of being a nigga. ISBN. I'm sick of being a nigga. ISBN. Well, God dang it. I'm sick of being a nigga. And I wrote that poem. And then lo and behold, eventually I got my ISBN. And not only did I just get my ISBN, I did buy 10 ISBNs and 4 authors as a publishing company was able to publish. That is why we have 8 publications online, because we were able to purchase our ISBNs. So it paid off getting that frustration out, because it gave, like you say, it gave me the drive, as a Nesky Anna Kim said, as a publisher, as a writer, as a poet, it gave me the drive to get accomplished, the very thing that I'm here to promote, which was, what would my ancestors do? My first poetry book.
Damn. Yeah. I love it, sis. The ISBN is so unique, and it's so like left. I don't know what brain. The way you came up with it, I just love it, right? And I think when I did my first book, they was telling me about it, and if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if I bought. Don't they sell them in bulk sometimes too, right? Like 2 or 3 at a time or something.
Yeah.
For the people, because I've come across so many people who publish books or have a story and don't know how to get it out there. What would you say to that author who's never put a book out other than coming to 4 authors, because that's where they need to go to come to you all. But what would you say is the first step for somebody that's writing a book that don't know anything about it?
The first step I would say is to write it.
Yeah.
Write it first.
Right.
Because everything after that will eventually fall in place. But if you have not taken the time to get the pen and paper or sit in front of your computer and completely write and I'm not talking about, I wrote a chapter or 2. Write the whole thing, the book, whether it's a poetry book, whether it's your life story, your bio, whatever. Write it first. Then seek. Everything is available. All the information is available on Google, and you can also seek out professional publishers. For authors, is just that. It is for authors. We are for those people who want to publish what they wrote. And so, because we are for, the first thing we will do, we give a free consultation, and we will give you all the information you need to publish your book yourself. We'll give you every website, every link. We'll give you any information, any newsletter or anything, any literature on it. One of the books, I have a book at home, and the young lady, she's at Patapsco Station, and she has a book, and I think it's called How to Publish Your Book on Your Lunch Break. I hope that's it, around that time. But it's a short, quicker to one of the first books I use to get the information I have. But I'll give you the referral. I have no problem with any of that, because we are for you as an author first, and then if you have, read over this and tried and put your foot forward, or if you get the information, say, you know what, that's a bit much, I guarantee you no other publishing company will give you what we give you for the price we give you. So from there, we will, we offer you our publishing packages based on how many words your writings are. Books fall in categories of novella, novels, and etc. And then also, for those who, a lot of people, I've run into a lot of people who wrote, and excuse me for saying this, a story, and they want it to be a book. And they don't even understand, based on the traditional formatting, most publishers won't even publish your book if you're not 42 pages back and front. And a lot of people, they give me these, and I call them stories, because based on the word count, that is what it is. The first basic word count is an essay, then a short story. Based on your word count, that is what the book really is. And so then we offer what is called creative consultation, creative content consultation. And this is where we offer a fee to, if you need to turn your story into a book, we will help you write it. We will help you keep the basis of everything and help you create the content to get it to the publishing basic needs. And so, yeah,
y'all heard it here. Y'all heard
We
it here.
are
Four authors, man. Look them up. Four authors. Nesky, what you got going on next? So you have an event coming up in like the first week of September, I saw.
certainly do. September the 2nd, we are back at City Escape Bar and Lounge,
Oh, yeah.
2213 Kirk Avenue. Free entry, no performance fees. The dopest open mic you'll find. We accept all stage performances, whether you are singing, dancing, poet, rapper, comedian. I don't care. I don't care what you do on stage, as long as you love to entertain and you do it with passion. Make sure you come through. It's free entry. For there from 8 to midnight. So yeah.
September 2nd. That's this Saturday, ain't it?
Yes, it is.
City Escapes Bar and Lounge. I love that place. I did a podcast live from there a couple times with Vaneski and her whole team over there. And I have a good time when I go there. I really like that space. It's really it's good. I think that's a gem too. That's just at any moment it's just going to be like boom, like the doors. You need to be able to keep the doors closed. Look, I appreciate you for coming on. Is there anything you want to say to the people before we go?
Yes, I do. I want to make sure I remind everyone to always invest in what you value, and above all things and everything you do it with purpose and do it with passion. I love you, John. Thank you for having me on. Anytime, any day, any place, I got your back.
I love you too, sis. I appreciate you. And tell my brother I said what's up. You want to be blessed, guys, you must bless somebody else. Aneski, I'm going to stay in touch with you, sis. I love you. Y'all be safe out here.
Love you too, bro. Everyone stay safe.
All right.
All right.
Just wanted to let you know that the host of this show appreciates the time that you've spent with them. Now, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel so you can keep up with everything that we're doing. And most of all, thank you for tuning in to What Up Baltimore online radio, where the people have the power.